YouTube. It is the Brandon Walker College.
It is unnecessary.
It's unnecessary roughness.
Subscribe, like, comment, share, turn on your notifications. We're coming at you a little bit later. Why Brandon Walker?
The college football playoff, and it is hot.
It is hot. It is stupid in some ways.
It's controversial.
It's controversial. We love it. We go through everything. We talk about strippers and monkeys. It's an absolute blast.
And strippers, monkeys.
And facts. If you're in the chat right now and you're not liking the video, we don't like you.
Relax.
Enjoy the show.
I'm not going to lie. I don't really want a cold open or any flowery conversation tonight because this is all about what we just saw on TV. Let's just start the podcast and get right into it.
It's recording, right?
Yeah, I'm recording.
I mean, you know exactly what you were just doing.
What? What was I doing?
You were doing a cold open.
Right, but I was saying I don't want a cold open. That was it. That was going to be it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to do a cold open?
No, it's too late. We already did one.
We just
Let's
had
not
a
do
cold
one.
open.
Okay.
That was the cold open.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Touching a lot of things.
I'm a redneck woman. I ain't no high-class broad. Just a product. Hi. Welcome to Unnecessary Roughness. I feel like that playoff reveal, based on what I thought it was going to be going in, was a little rough.
I knew where you were going with that.
Rough.
That was a Phil Dunphy joke. Good for you.
I don't know who that is, but
Yes,
that was
you
rough.
do.
He was on Married with Children.
Modern Family.
Same thing.
He does all the dad jokes.
Does he?
Yeah.
Nobody going to pick that joke up. That's fine. That's fine.
Was that a joke I was supposed to get?
I don't know. I think
No,
I
nothing.
think he's too old.
I'm not too old. You guys are too young.
Well,
Doesn't matter. We're not going to do this
No.
tonight.
No,
I'm
we're
not
not.
going to let you do this shit
talk
tonight.
about high noon.
High Noon. Hi. This podcast brought to you by High Noon. Sun Sips, High Noon Hard Seltzer. They are delicious and fantastic. We got the lime in front of us, the grapefruit, I'm sure the watermelon, all the best flavors in the world. This weekend when you're watching college football, get you a High Noon. Get you a pack of High Noons. Get you the variety pack.
The variety pack, the peach.
The variety pack is the way to go because if you don't know what your favorite is, mine's the peach, hers the peach. I also like the lime and the watermelon, but try them all. See what you like.
The mango, the passion fruit.
I haven't had the passion fruit. I had it last time.
I
It
don't
was
know
okay.
how you... Oh, you did have it last time. I don't know how you've made it this far without trying a flavor of our sponsor.
Well, it's just... That's not... Why would you throw me under the bus like
That's
that?
not throwing you under a bus. It's just saying that
That's
they're
throwing me
literally
under a
everywhere.
bus. It's just
There's a throne of them in the kitchen.
There is a throne.
A
of them.
literal throne you
Yeah.
can climb up on and sit on.
I have a throne of them in my garage.
You still do.
Yeah.
I'm running low. Can you bring me some?
What you want?
Peach.
Like a High Noon pusher. what you? Tell me what you want, girl.
Tell me. Do I gotta like meet you shady
Yeah.
somewhere? Like
Yeah, I'll meet you. You know, we'll
like
it'll
hand
be
me a can at a time. You open up your jacket and you got all the flavors.
Right. I got the peach. I got the grapefruit. What you want?
Ooh, all right, I like that idea. It's a nice idea.
All right. Great sponsor. Fantastic people.
We're recording a little bit later tonight.
I think everybody knows why.
Well, in case
So I don't know when we're...
people have lives.
Hopefully this is going live almost, very soon after we get done with it. But November 2nd, 2021, we have our first playoff reveal, our first playoff ranking, so we know what the committee is thinking. Because all year had the AP, the coaches, but that really doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean shit.
The only thing that's going to mean anything at the end of the season will be this committee's ranking. And this particular one by the committee doesn't matter at all. But this is the committee that's going to be making the decision that does matter later on. And we get our first glimpse into their mindset. And my first reaction to their mindset is, the fuck?
What the fuck?
The fuck? Listen. Okay. There are several ways to go about it. But when I'm just power ranking the storylines coming out of this reveal we just saw, number one is definitely Alabama at number 2. I don't think there's any doubt about that, correct?
Correct.
I just looked at it like you and I both had them outside of our top 4. Now we're not on a committee. Nothing we say really matters, but we just thought, knowing college football and watching college football, that it made sense to put them outside the top 4.
Here's the thing about these rankings, though. We say that they don't matter, and they technically don't. I mean, I know, no offense, Mississippi State was ranked in the first ones ever. What number were they?
They were number 1. They were the
Number
first
one,
ever
yes,
number 1.
congratulations.
November 2014,
Yep,
the
see,
first
there we
ever
go.
college football playoff committee ranking forever will have Mississippi State the number
I
one
just want
team
you to
in the
know
country.
that I love you so much that I wanted you to go ahead and be able to say that on my accord so that we could get it out of the way.
I will say it a lot.
It's fine.
Yeah.
What we do learn from this, even though these 4 teams technically do not matter because we are only on November 2nd, is what the committee is looking at to put those teams where they are. And now we have a glimpse of what they are really looking at. I think Alabama's there, but Cincinnati, we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. Like, we all thought they were going to be potentially, I think 4 or 5 by these ranking standards, not by our own.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing potentially they're looking at these eye tests.
So
and
let's
being
do
like,
this. Let's do this outline style. Okay. I'm
I
gonna
like that.
I'm gonna fill
I
in the
like that.
headlines here, and then we're gonna go back and fill in the subplots. Okay, the subpoints.
So it's like high school again.
I think story number 1 is Alabama at number 2. Okay.
All right, Alabama.
I
number
think
2.
story number 2 is Cincinnati being at 6. What do you think story number 2 is?
Oklahoma at number 8.
I was only going like chronologically. I think story number.
okay,
Yeah, you're probably right. Oklahoma being number 8 is shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Shocking to me. And then Cincinnati being 6, Oklahoma 8. Those are the top 3 stories. I don't know past that. I mean, you can get into like 10 through 25. None of that really matters at this point. We'll definitely talk about it later because there were some pleasant surprises for some of us in there. A&M's 14. You're not real happy with that.
I'm not unhappy, but when they unveiled A&M at 14, I was like, okay, fine. But then when they unveiled Alabama at 2,
Yeah.
I was like, well, wait a minute.
Right,
So you're saying Alabama's the second best team in the country
And you beat
over multiple undefeated teams,
Right.
but A&M beat them, but is at 14. So that's where I'm confused.
And my team is one of the more shocking things that's ever happened to me. They're ranked number 17.
I'm going to go ahead and admit something.
I did not know they were going to be ranked.
I
I did not plan for them to be ranked.
You did not. And
I wasn't considering it.
I went ahead and posted a video trolling you a little bit, saying, like, where do you think they're going to be ranked? You say, I don't think they're going to be ranked. We were telling Chaps we think UTSA is going to be ranked ahead of them. And then within a matter of, 45 seconds,
I left the room.
it changed. And luckily, Katie got that video, so we did look not completely clownish, but, 17, huh?
Okay, let's say you live in a world where you haven't seen the rankings. Let me just go ahead and tell you what's going on. The playoff committee rankings came out. Number 1 is Georgia. No surprise there. Number 2 is the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think that's a gigantic surprise. Should it be? We know committees and we know the talking heads. We know people love Alabama. We know the eye test. They value that very much. But I thought 2 was still shocking. 3 is Michigan State coming off their biggest victory in a very long time. So they're comfortably in there at 3. And then Oregon, who owns the victory over Ohio State, is in fact ahead of Ohio State in that final spot at number 4. That might be permanent. That might be temporary. That's a discussion for later on. Ohio State 5. Cincinnati, the undefeated team. We wondered how high they could go. The best group of 5 team in the country. Well, not all that high. They're number 6. And then Michigan, number 7, ahead of unbeaten Oklahoma. Interesting. That's a discussion. Wake Forest, also unbeaten, number 9. Notre Dame, much maligned sometimes, number 10. Followed by Oklahoma State at 11. Baylor at 12. Auburn at 13. A&M at 14, BYU 15, Ole Miss and Mississippi State back-to-back at 16 and 17, Kentucky at 18, NC State at 19, Minnesota, who lost to Bowling Green earlier, but as a quiet 6-2, and the committee recognizes that. Minnesota and Mississippi State, 2 teams I don't think are anywhere near being ranked by the pollsters, but are ranked in this one. Wisconsin 21, Iowa 22. That's interesting. Now that I look about it, you're talking about we've all assumed Wisconsin's going to win the Big Ten West, right? Well, the committee's got Big Ten West right there. 20 Minnesota, 21 Wisconsin, 22 Iowa. Then you got Fresno State 23, San Diego State 24, and Pitt 25. All right, folks. Katie, Jack, you haven't said anything yet, but I'll just put it up to you. Kayce, what's the biggest surprise here to you? You might be leaning Oklahoma.
I think Alabama has to be overall the number 1 just because there are teams in the Power 5 that are undefeated that have played bigger games. Now, again, we said this last week with Alabama. They do have to play the SEC gauntlet.
Right.
You mentioned this before we walked in. Propping up Mississippi State at 17 then gives Alabama a better win.
Well, that's a theory I've got for. I wanted to
Okay,
drop
all
that
right,
one
I'll
myself.
let that one
but
go.
it's-
I do think that Oklahoma being at 8 is surprising, not because I think that it should be, but because of the way the committee has treated Oklahoma in the years past. Oklahoma is undefeated in the Big 12. They have had close games. I completely understand that. But for Oklahoma, I mean, not that the AP poll necessarily matters, but didn't they open up at 3, 4?
Well, they're 2 or 3 right now in the AP poll.
You
I
know,
believe.
so it's so that surprises
they're
me.
3. They're behind Cincinnati.
Because if you're the thing about the playoff committee rankings every year that puts us all in a blender is that every single team can be like, okay, well, the Oklahoma eye test, that's probably why they're a little bit lower, right? They haven't been burying teams like they
Right.
should. They should absolutely not be higher than 8 because of that. But then you look at Alabama and you're like, well, they lost to a team who lost to Mississippi State and Arkansas is not even ranked. So what are you really looking at? You look at Michigan State. Now, the only 2 things that I do think really do make sense, despite I think we would all say Ohio State is better than Oregon, is that Oregon did beat Ohio State. So you can at least give them that credit. That
Okay.
They're like, okay, fine. We do have a head-to-head matchup that we can put ahead of each other.
There's one interesting wrinkle in there. I just can't fathom a world. Now, I understand Oklahoma beat Tulane by 5. They beat West Virginia by 3. They beat Kansas. They didn't beat them very well. I understand they haven't looked good by the eye test, but at the same time, why is Michigan ahead of Oklahoma? Like, Michigan has lost the only game against a winning team they played this year. They lost this Saturday to Michigan State. Michigan has no wins to speak of. They have nothing that you can put.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, they got Wisconsin at 21. I guess
I think this is where we go back and forth with the semantics of what the committee thinks because of these eye tests, whatever the fucking term eye test means to you. It's that they're looking if Michigan State would have blown Michigan out, or if Michigan would have blown Michigan State out, these rankings would look different. But because that game was so close and those teams were so even, and it was a top 10 matchup, and it was just last Saturday,
Right.
recency bias is there. They're probably like, well, you know, their close loss was to the number 3 team in the country. Who's OU beaten?
You know why I thought Alabama wasn't going to be in the top 4? Because this
Lost?
ranking, they lost, yeah, but this ranking doesn't really matter all that much because look at Ohio State. Let's take Ohio State for example. They don't have to be in the top 4 right now because coming down the stretch of the season, they're going to play 3, they're going to play 7, and then they're going to play. They're also who else are they going to play? They're going to play either 20, 21, or 22 in the Big Ten championship game. So
Probably 21.
Ohio State is going to play these teams. Ohio State doesn't have to be in the top 4 right now. Everything's in front of them. They're about to put together a resume that will make them a top 4 team. I thought the same thing about Alabama. Whatever happens with Alabama tonight doesn't matter because their playoff chances come down to one game and one game only. First, they got to get there. And if they beat Georgia, they're in the playoff, period. If they lose to Georgia, I don't think you can put them in the playoff, period.
Oh, Brandon.
Do you
Oh,
think
Brandon.
do you think
Oh, no.
this
Do
is putting
I?
them in a
Do
position?
I?
I'm asking, do you believe this is putting them in a position at number 2 that they could lose to Georgia and stay in?
There are 2 different answers to that. Do I think it should be? No.
No, I'm asking you, do you
I
think
think-
that's what the committee is doing?
Yes. Because I think that if you put Alabama at 4, if you put them a little bit lower, you put them at 5, right outside the bubble, you'd be like, okay, listen, they have one more loss, they're toast. You're now putting them at 2. You say they win out. They beat Auburn, who is at number 13. They
Right.
beat, who else do they have? Who's next week?
I think as far as rank, they got LSU this week,
Yeah, well, I mean-
and then they have a nobody, I believe, and then they have
And then Auburn.
they have Auburn. I think they got 4 games left though. I'm missing somebody. Arkansas, I believe. I think they
Okay,
play Arkansas
well,
at some point.
So the way that this looks to me is that it's almost like they're setting it up for 2 SEC teams and 2 Big Ten teams, which would be crazy sitting here November 2nd, but that's what it looks like they're setting it up for.
What you just said, in my opinion, is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and it might be 100% correct. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
I played it through my head when she said it, and then I looked, and I was like, wait.
Okay, now listen. Here's how it could happen. Okay. So
It
let's
might
say-
be dumb,
Let's assume Ohio
but
State.
that's what it looks like.
Ohio State beats Michigan, right? Or Michigan State. Like Michigan is gonna, if they're at 7 and they're able to beat, there's a world that exists here where
Wait,
things
so
massage themselves into a way.
Someone's going to have to answer this for me.
All right.
I was playing through this. Someone was just asking me, like, oh, who's going to get in yesterday? And of course, I didn't know that Alabama was going to be number 2 at that point, but we were going through the Big Ten scenario. There's a very real chance that every team, Michigan State, and Ohio State, all have one Big Ten loss to each other in a trio. I don't know who gets into the Big Ten championship at that time. At that point,
is it going to be like record against division opponents or something like that?
There's probably a tiebreaker thing,
So
but
let's
if
see,
it's a
so
Michigan,
in the SEC, it's record against division
yeah,
opponents.
Michigan beats Ohio State,
Yeah,
and Ohio State beats Michigan State.
and Michigan State already
Everyone
has
has one loss in the
Yeah.
Big. Obviously, this also means nobody else has any other losses.
correct. Yeah,
Who gets in there?
That
And then that would allow for a, like, let's say Michigan beats Ohio State. Oh, but could
so
there
Ohio
be?
State already has a loss, so it gets a little muddy.
Oh no, let's say Michigan beats Ohio State, and then for some reason gets in over Michigan State, but Michigan State had a close loss to Ohio State.
I'm getting cross-eyed now, Jack.
Yeah,
But-
but like I'm doing you're seeing the Matrix right now. You're like Alan from The Hangover sitting at
Yeah.
the blackjack table.
But so think
Like,
about
there's
it.
so many there's
Now,
so many ways
It's
I
not
could
likely. I think at the end of the day, Ohio State's going to probably beat Michigan, and it will all play itself out. But if that happens, then it's like Michigan and Michigan State could both be in the playoff.
That is my
Couple of
point. That
key-
well, until we move on, tell me that I'm crazy.
Here are the key teams. I think it is crazy, but it's not impossible.
I'm not saying that's what
Right.
100% they're doing, but putting them right here and allowing them some space for error and having this situation right here.
Right. Here's the
Just
key
saying.
teams going forward. This one right here is a huge key.
That's Oregon if you're not watching.
They're a huge key. Number 4, Oregon, because they have one loss. They just can't take another loss, and they probably gotta keep winning impressively.
Impressively.
And like if they go to Utah and win by 3, I think they could be in danger. Like Ohio State's about to potentially have some wins to pop itself up, but if Oregon drops out there, all of a sudden things start to align where you could see some Big Ten teams. But Oklahoma at number 8, okay. Look at what they got coming up, 12 and 11. You can talk about their eye test. You can talk about everything you want. That's why they're punished now. But if they handle 11, they handle 12, all of a sudden they got to start squeezing this thing too. And Cincinnati is the only team in this top 6 or 7 doesn't have an opportunity to do what these teams have to do.
And that's why they're fucked.
Cincinnati.
And
Cincinnati is fucked. Cincinnati is fucked.
Disrespect. I am not saying fuck Cincinnati.
I would not have fucked Cincinnati. I would have had Cincinnati in the top 4.
What you just said is the perfect example because of course, like everybody's tweeting now and freaking out, like, oh well, it's gonna all work itself out, and Cincinnati's gonna still be there. They have nothing left on their schedule that all of these other teams do, including you get further down. I mean, I don't know where it stops, but I mean, A&M and Auburn have to play each other. They're both still in the running for the SEC West. You've got Baylor, Oklahoma State. Like, you've got all these teams that have to figure it out. Cincinnati's just chilling.
All right, everybody. Hooters. Hooters is back. Hooters. I love Hooters. You love Hooters.
They have the best fried pickles in the game.
They do have great fried pickles. I love a good Hooters. I love Hooters. Hey, that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have a Hooters shirt with me, so I made one.
You made when you said I'm going to draw Hooters, I didn't know you were actually going to put nipples on the O's.
That was me.
You thought Katie drew the nipples, first of all. You thought I was going to draw actual boobs.
I thought you were going to draw boobs.
No, I'm drawing Hooters because they're our new sponsor.
Hooters is your go-to spot for killer wings, ice cold beer, and football season means all the big games on all the big screens across this country. Listen, you know where a Hooters is, where you live. Go to it. Get some great wings. Get some great football. It is fantastic. It's the only place that has world-famous Hooters girls. They love football just as much as you and me, and they're better looking than your friends. Maybe not yours, definitely mine. Hooters has game day specials to keep you hydrated and filled up on your Hooters favorites all season long. If you can't make it to Hooters for the game, that's your bad. You can still get your Hooters fix at home and save $10 with code BARSTOOL when you order online.
I
Oh,
love...
they're sagging.
Oh,
Okay.
you're like that maybe? I
Yeah.
have friends who worked at Hooters when we were in college. They're pretty hot.
Did you ever work at Hooters?
I did not.
Well, your friends
get,
did.
Well, I did get approached. You know, they
recruit?
They recruit once you turn 18. They recruit.
Do they recruit more than Dan Mullen?
Yes.
Oh, call
And
back.
better.
Or maybe
And
a call
better.
forward. I don't know what this is.
Whatever this is. I will say this. My favorite thing to do is go to Hooters.
My favorite thing to do is look at Hooters too.
Well, I mean, we all know that.
Yeah.
But to get like a gigantic basket of fried pickles
Yeah.
and eat them for an entire football game.
They are good. Visit
For a whole
Hooters.com.
4 hours.
Visit Hooters.com/Barstool. Use code Barstool for 10% off $50 or more on your order. Again, visit Hooters.com/Barstool. Use code Barstool for $10 off any order, $50 or more. Can I just point towards the future of college football and why it's going to be better?
They're going to expand the playoff quicker?
Imagine 12 of these teams we're getting in. Imagine me and you right now. I'm at 17. You're at 14. Imagine 12 of these teams we're getting in. How hot is this show at that point?
Well, yeah. No,
I mean,
the people that benefit from the 12-team playoff
Are the us's of the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here's the thing. I'm just going to say I'm going to say it. I think it's bullshit of the highest order that Alabama is number 2 in the country and number 2 in this ranking. I think it is complete bullshit because arguments that I hear from people is you can't honestly believe Alabama wouldn't beat Cincinnati by 40. You know, that's a fair point. I also thought Alabama was going to beat Texas A&M by 40, and guess what? They did not. You got to be punished for losing in this world. In this world, you better be punished for losing. If you can just lose as an 18-point favorite and it doesn't matter at all, what are we really doing? I understand their eye test. I really don't believe their eye test is all that strong. They destroyed Ole Miss. They destroyed Mississippi State. I think that's 2 good wins. The committee thinks that's 2 good wins. They also beat Florida by 2. Florida kind of sucks. They lost to A&M. Like, they haven't looked that. This isn't a typically dominant Alabama team, and the committee is treating them like they are, and I don't understand that.
Well, that's why it goes back to what I'm saying, and I know everyone's like, she's making this about A&M. I'm going to take even A&M out of the picture. They beat Mississippi State by a ton. I understand
49-9.
49-9. Okay, so Mississippi State, the 17th team in the country, though, so that does prop it up a little bit. But they also lost to A&M at 14, who lost to Mississippi State. Arkansas is nowhere to be found on this list. Florida is nowhere to be found on this list. So I'm not saying, and I've been saying this for a long time, like I think Alabama is one of the top 4 teams in the country usually. That maybe it's my brain is broken. I think they would beat Cincinnati. I think they would beat Oregon. I think they would beat Michigan State right now, but they don't deserve to be number 2 in this ranking solely because of the math that we're just doing.
Let me tell you another way Cincy has been fucked tonight, and it just occurred to me right now looking at this. Because coming down the stretch of the season, Cincy's going to have a couple teams. They're going to have 6-1 or 7-1 SMU. They're going to have 7-1 Houston, and the committee ranked neither of those teams. Neither of those teams is in the top 25. I'm not sure if they should be, but certainly Pitt with 2 losses. Fresno State with 2 losses. I just feel like there could have been room to maybe give Cincinnati a little squeeze here, and they really didn't do it. I don't know. And the one team we're not talking about at all is undefeated right there looking at us, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. What do you do?
I think it's because the ACC is so down this year.
But here's the rub on that. We're going to deny Wake Forest the same courtesy we give to Clemson every year. It's the exact same conference that Clemson beats the shit up on every year, and we let Clemson be up there. Why are we taking it away from Wake Forest?
I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I do think that is that. I mean, just like I fucking do, that if there was a different logo sitting there at number 2 with the exact same resume, it would not be sitting there at number 2. If this number 9 logo was the Clemson Tigers, it would not be number 9. It would probably be 2 or 3.
Clemson usually has a pretty good out-of-conference game. Wake Forest doesn't.
True, but in a
world,
Clemson
and
Clemson usually has a Heisman Trophy
But let's
candidate.
be honest.
Right.
If number 9. If that were Clemson with the same resume as Wake Forest, where do you think they'd be?
Clemson would blow people out. Wake Forest has been squeaking by with wins.
Yeah, I agree with Katie.
That's a fair point. I'm just saying, do you guys think if the circumstances were the same, would Clemson be 9?
Oh, no, if Clemson, but I'm just making this number up. I think Wake Forest is probably averaging about 7 points a win, like the difference. Like Clemson,
I think it's more than that. I think they've been pretty decent. They've had a couple of close ones. Louisville was very close. Syracuse was very close. I'll give you those.
So there's been several very close wins. I don't think if Clemson was that close, like same thing with Alabama, like they would probably be like 6 or 4.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many conversation pieces here. I just.
Well, and they're Alabama fans. This is going to shock you.
Alabama fans are absolutely feeling themselves
there
tonight.
Are
like
Alabama fans.
Garth Brooks released a new album or something. They are fucking. They got a new fucking AutoZone in their town.
There are Alabama fans in my mentions right now that listen. I said Alabama's still going to make the playoff. However, I said just a simple sentence, a simple tweet, not very many characteristics. Cincinnati is fucked. And I've had Alabama fans in my mentions right now being like, "Oh, a two-loss Alabama team gets in and over a undefeated Cincinnati team because they haven't played anybody." Folks,
What doesn't make sense to me is what you're pointing out.
they beat Notre Dame, who's number 10.
In South Bend, Indiana.
This is
So Cincinnati. So these Alabama
Cincy beat
fans.
Ken, yes.
So and credit to and I do credit.
Oh,
I'm not going
God,
to do it.
Dan,
I'm not going
let's
to do
not
it.
do that again.
I'm not going to do it. I understand Alabama plays in the SEC. As a team that plays in the same division as them, I do think every single week is much tougher playing in a Power 5 conference than in a non-Power 5. However, if you are an Alabama fan, you cannot make the argument to me that Cincinnati plays, quote, nobody when these rankings come out and they have a much higher win than Alabama does.
They have a better win. Alabama, the way the committee did it, they got 16 and 17 now, so they got that. And I still think the second it happened, I was like,
And lost to 14.
I was very excited Mississippi State was ranked, and then for a second I was like, they just did that to prop up Alabama. They're just giving us a little squeeze so the Alabama gets up there. But
And you know what? And maybe a way to knock A&M down a little bit.
now this could also be a long con just to drum up conversation because the committee knows Georgia and Alabama are going to do their job for them.
Do they?
I think they do. I think they know. They know one thing. They know if Georgia beats this is my opinion. I know you might have a different one. They believe if Georgia beats Alabama, Alabama's out, Georgia's in, that's easy. They believe if Alabama beats Georgia, they're both in, that's easy. I think they're just taking that might be an easy way out for them. And then this whole 3, 5, 7, that'll figure itself out over the next month. You don't have to worry about that. 8 playing 11 and 12, that'll kind of figure itself out.
Yes. Okay, but here's where the Big Ten gets more interesting is 3, 5, 7 also has to play either 21 or 22.
Or 20.
Or 20, which
Yeah.
which that does seem so weird.
It
Like,
is weird, but
no
Minnesota's
disrespect.
quietly good.
I know, no disrespect. It's like I don't like. It's like what? Like
Credit to Minnesota, Kayce.
I didn't say it. You said it.
Credit to Minnesota.
I wonder how many times I said it last podcast. I wish you would
It
have
was
dinged
in the low hundreds.
I mean, I kept saying it on purpose.
It was in triple digits.
I loved saying it. By the end of that podcast, I couldn't have said it more. But here, the idea of all of the teams in the West
Right.
or the East having one loss.
Right.
What if Wisconsin wins?
Yeah, right. There's still things that can happen. Here's
What
the
if
thing.
Michigan State wins out? Which again, this is all so many hypotheticals. What if Michigan State wins out, beats Ohio State, plays Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship? Wisconsin wins.
Chaos. Pure, utter chaos.
It'd be awesome.
Right. It'd be
But
awesome.
then,
but it'd be,
okay, then-
also, Michigan State at that in that scenario would still get in the playoff. I think so. Yeah.
What would happen to Wisconsin? You're gonna leave a
Are
Big
they at
Ten
2 losses or 3 losses?
3.
3. The
But
Packers-
then
gonna-
they
but
would
you're gonna
just have a
leave-
Big Ten championship. They wouldn't get in the playoff. They would not get in the playoff.
Has there ever been a conference champion not in the playoff?
Penn State.
Oh yeah, for
a
sure.
billion times. There's 5 conferences.
Yeah, there's
for
5
it.
Well, I
conferences.
mean of a conference that's in it. Oh, I guess in 2016 did they leave Penn? Was it Penn State they left
No,
out?
because Penn State didn't make the conference championship game, right?
No.
That's why they got.
No, I thought they won the.
I don't think that there has been a conference champion that has not got in over a team in their conference.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what I'm saying. There's 5 conferences, so I understand conference championship
Yeah.
been
Oh, I
left
see what
out.
you're saying. Like
if-
Michigan
if
State,
if
the non-conference
right.
champion, get in over the conference champion. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. This is Oregon, and you need to be watching this on YouTube because we're pointing to this graphic
I feel
a
like
lot.
we're Vanna Whiting right
Right.
now.
We're not. We're kind of just playing back here. Oregon to me is the most fascinating team on the board right now because they have been put in a position at number 4. Ohio State is going to just hypothetically, I believe Ohio State's going to win out. Therefore, they're going to build a resume. Does that mean Oregon gets that resume too, kind of? Does that mean Ohio State uses that resume to jump Oregon? Or does Oregon then get the credit for beating a better Ohio State? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
They probably can't even answer that question.
I mean, they're going to have to answer. They're probably going to have to answer that question at some point.
At some point. but,
Unless
like,
Utah does. I guarantee you the playoff committee is really rooting for Utah to beat Oregon.
For sure.
Because
you
I
know
think they want Oregon out of there. I think they want that. Oregon is the one team that makes this complicated.
Yeah, because then guess what it sets it up for?
Well, what you said. But I don't think it sets it up for that. I
It
think
could.
the team that you're going to have to account for later on is Oklahoma, I believe.
What if? Let's play more hypotheticals.
Okay.
Baylor beats OU.
Okay, so any of the 3 Big 12 teams, if any of the 3 Big 12 teams went out meaning they all play each other. Baylor plays OSU and OU. They all play each other. Either any of those 3 teams win both games, I think they jump up to right behind Ohio State. And, yeah, I do.
I know, but the thought process that Oklahoma, like, so they obviously Bedlam is coming up, which would be great.
Right.
Oklahoma State already has a loss.
Yeah.
Who's Baylor's loss to?
Oklahoma State.
I thought it was Iowa State.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah. Iowa State beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma State beat Baylor.
So you're telling me, so that say Oklahoma somehow loses to both of these teams,
Well, you don't have to worry about them.
but then these 2 teams play each other.
They already did.
What if they play each other in the Big 12 championship?
Well, then we'll see. Well, you know
That's
what?
what I'm saying.
Whoever
It's
wins,
like-
whoever wins the Big
but
12
it would be
championship.
it would be easy for them to get rid of them, supposedly, if the team has 1 loss.
Yeah.
Because
Right,
they're
that's
not
what
undefeated.
See?
But if Oklahoma wins out, then they're like 13-0.
A million hypotheticals we could do.
I love it.
Fascinating board. Biggest surprise to me, though, again, the headlines tonight are Alabama at number 2. I think it's a big fuck you to Cincinnati and really the rest of the college football world. It basically sends the message that we love college football, but we kind of love Alabama more.
I don't think
They don't have a great win. They haven't been all that great all year, but damn it, they're Alabama.
I don't think I agree with you from the Alabama side of things. I don't think that Cincinnati being at 6 it's definitely a fuck you to Cincinnati. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're a Cincinnati fan right now, you should be raising hell. However, it does absolutely solidify what I've been thinking all year is that just because they're winning out in the group of 5, that the committee is going to be like, I'm sorry, you're not in a Power 5 conference. We only have 4 spots. We have 5 Power 5 conferences. Yes, you have a good win at Notre Dame. Indiana is nowhere to be fucking found. No one cares about Indiana.
Yeah.
But that solidifies that argument to me. It's like, well, the last 2 weeks you had opportunities to blow teams out of the water. You didn't. It hurt. It dinged their resume.
That's what the committee is citing. They're saying that Cincinnati's tremendous respect from the committee. Their win at Notre Dame was a heck of a performance, but after that win, look who else they've beaten. And then that they have cited the 2 weeks close games at Navy and Tulane.
Was that guy holding like a red and white pom-pom when he was talking?
No, this is
Crimson
Gary
and white.
Bardo.
Huh?
Gary Bardo.
No, I understand
Oh, yeah.
that. Was he?
Probably.
Crimson and white, yeah.
He came to the show. First of all, roll tide. Second, here's the
We
deal
love
about
Nick Saban.
Cincinnati.
Can credit.
Yeah, it was
Also,
on the
the
conference
quotes are
call, yeah.
phenomenal that are coming out of this.
Oh, I can only
The committee
listen.
starts with no prior assumptions. We don't think about what happened in previous year. Preseason polls don't come into discussion. I mean, that's psychologically
It says
impossible.
Minnesota's
just impossible.
Minnesota's
It's
at
also just a lie.
Minnesota's at number 20 because they're on a 4-game winning streak and they beat Maryland and they won at Purdue.
Minnesota's a
Womped
decent
up.
team. I think they're fine at 20.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just
like,
surprising.
I think that-
What's their
things-
reasoning for Mississippi State at 17? I really do wanna know.
Haven't gotten one yet.
I'll tell you their reasoning.
Beat A&M.
No, watch this. Win.
Okay.
There's only one team in this board that's beaten 3 of these teams.
And one loss to a team they beat.
Yeah, it's fine, but I'm just saying the reason we're ranked is we beat 14, 18, and 19, and no other team can say they've beaten 3 of these teams. And most of these teams can't say they beat 2 of these teams. So we're a weird team, man. We're a weird. Imagine if we hadn't been fucked against Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that game didn't happen.
Imagine if we hadn't been fucked against Memphis. If we gotten a fair result there, oh boy, y'all would be. By the way, Mike Leach building something in Mississippi State. I've been quiet, but this opened me up tonight.
The 16-17 is
Oh, we're
making
gonna
me-
beat the fuck out of them. We're gonna beat the piss out of Ole
Okay,
Miss.
so I have a question for you looking at this before we move on.
All right, I had
Oh.
one more statement before we moved on from Cincinnati.
Okay, no, I was going to also talk about Cincinnati, but go ahead.
We are burying Cincinnati. Me and you are standing here with shovels, thinking the committee just knocked them in the grave and we're just gonna pour dirt on them. However, they're at 6.
Yeah.
Like Oklahoma's at 8.
Yeah.
They're undefeated. Like they gave them more respect than Oklahoma, and they're at 6. Michigan State definitely could lose. Oregon could lose.
Well, there's 6 of the 5 teams above them. 4 of them have to play each other.
Right. There's spots are opening up here. They got to worry about playing defense against like Oklahoma passing them. They got to worry about a little bit of stuff, but ultimately, their spot's going to open up. We're burying them now, and everybody's laughing at them. Them getting in the final poll is not crazy.
It's not crazy, and I don't think I personally am not laughing at Cincinnati because I think that it's bullshit. If Alabama wouldn't have been at number 2, I would have felt a little bit differently just because again Alabama does have a loss to my team. But even though they all have to play each other, there's still a scenario where even if they all play each other, they still all get in.
No.
Yes, there is.
I don't think. I don't know.
If Alabama,
Ohio State. You talking about Alabama? Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship.
Right.
They're both in, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. If
You have to really dance to make this happen with the Big
yeah,
Ten, because
you
Ohio
would
State having a loss,
right? They have that.
destroys that.
I keep forgetting
Well,
they
the way
have the
for
loss.
Cincinnati to get in would be Georgia not even destroys, but just like
beats Alabama.
beats Alabama handedly. Ohio State just runs through, or actually Michigan State just wins out.
Well, I don't think that's not that realistic though. So I think Ohio State just running through Michigan State and Michigan,
But then,
they claim a spot, but they get out, and then Oregon losing all of a sudden.
yes, but then we're talking about just the teams in front of them. What about the teams behind them? What about if OU runs the gauntlet?
But if they run the gauntlet, fine. But there's also, I mean, those three teams could split. Oklahoma has to go to Baylor and to Oklahoma State.
I know, but it's just you said it.
I'm starting to think Cincinnati has more of a chance to reach the Final Four
now
than
that we've talked about it.
now
more.
that we've talked about it.
But the biggest thing is
The opportunity is here.
I think Oklahoma will be jumped before they put Cincinnati in.
I don't understand that sentence.
Sorry,
I know what you meant.
we'll jump them.
Yes, I agree.
But if Oklahoma handles their business, but we've seen a lot of evidence this year that Oklahoma might not handle their business.
Agree. This
What if
hypotheticals.
Michigan State beats Ohio or Michigan beats Ohio State?
Pigs might fly. I don't know. I still just don't think Michigan's very good.
That's fine. But
I don't think Michigan State's very
We're
good.
playing this hypothetical though that the
Yeah.
one thing that we do know for a fact out of everything else is that Cincinnati has the least amount, at least in the at least in the top 8.
The least amount of opportunity left on their schedule is what you're saying. Yeah.
At least the least amount of opportunity to boost their resume.
All right. Anything we haven't covered here?
I think Wisconsin being in there at all is absurd.
Well,
They're playing so well right now.
I don't know why they
They're
ranked
3 losses.
Fresno State and San Diego State.
I agree with that.
Because
Fresno State was surprising to me.
Fresno State dominated San Diego State.
And we
and
do
then
have to give
UTSA,
our friend Chaps.
UTSA not getting in, but also they have no win. So
yeah.
it's kind of like Marshall in I think the first rankings ever. They finished the season 13-0, and like they were just like not very good. They didn't have any wins. On top of that, yeah, even. I mean, like, why is Kentucky 18?
The committee cited that basically UTSA only had Illinois, and then everyone else was under 500 that they beat.
Yeah, they beat Memphis.
But why is Kentucky 18?
Yeah, as a great.
They
So they're
covered
6-2.
versus
I
Georgia?
guess their best win's what? Florida,
Yeah.
LSU. Who
LSU,
Yeah.
Mizzou.
Have they put out the rest of them, or do they only do 25
they only do
Only
25
every week?
every
Yeah,
week.
I
Yeah,
mean,
okay. I didn't know if the first week they did.
it-
I know that
every
moving
week.
forward they did. I would love to see 26 through 30.
Yeah, that's probably. You're
I
not
would
wrong.
love to.
I mean, we could probably guess them, but yeah, there it is.
I just, and also gripe, and I know they do this every time. I fucking hate it. When we unveil the top 6, can we not start with number 6?
No, they
start with one.
It's the
I
best
know.
way to do it.
They go 20.
Why?
They
I
go
don't want
25 to 7. Then they go 1,
Right, I don't like that.
No, I like
They
that.
do 1, 2, they do
1,
1, 2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5, 6.
5, 6.
I know. I want them to go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They know where the drama points are. Though.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
like,
all right, here, how about this then? 1, 6,
5, 4,
2, 5,
No,
3,
no,
4.
no. They do it perfectly.
I kind of like that too.
Yeah, isn't that good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, okay, well, fuck. We know it's Georgia.
I do
All right,
kinda-
whatever.
I do
Then,
think it's-
Can you imagine the drama that would have happened if we saw Georgia come out number 1 and then they ranked Cincinnati 6?
No, I don't think that would be. Drama.
That would have been less drama, but it's certainly. Actually, now I'm side with Jack because the first moment that took my breath away tonight.
It was Alabama.
No.
No, Mississippi State.
No. Well,
Oh.
that took my breath away for a good reason, but that doesn't matter to anybody else. The first moment
8.
that took my breath away was 8.
Yeah.
When Oklahoma popped up at 8, I was like, what? what are we doing? So does that mean Michigan 7 and we put Michigan at 7? Then they went Georgia and when 2 moments took my breath away, Oklahoma 8, Alabama 2.
Yeah.
Cincinnati 6 took my breath
I'm really
away,
confused with the San Diego State. I guess they beat Utah.
But wouldn't Cincinnati have taken your breath away if they unveiled that before this?
Maybe.
It would have. Have we been sitting there, we're like, what the fuck is this? And then we're all like, well, does that mean that Michigan's going to jump Cincinnati? And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, we're done with Michigan at 7. Let's go to number 1. Oh, the Georgia Bulldogs, duh. If they would have been like, all right, Michigan 7, Cincinnati 6. You'd be like, what?
It is a testament to Kirby Smart and how good that team is this year. The defense is. We We're arguing every number on the board except for one.
Well, there's no argument.
There is absolutely
Not a one.
zero argument right now. Can
That's-
he finish? He's had a great approach shot to the green. He's now got a 3-foot putt for birdie the rest of the season. Can he make this putt now?
I mean,
Can he finish this out?
I would love to hear one single human being argue against Georgia. One. Has anybody called into the Brandon Walker College Football Show?
No, there is no argument against Georgia.
This is one of those teams that on November 2nd, as we sit here at 9 p.m. or whatever time it is, there is no holes you can poke in the fact that they're the number one team in the country.
I'm looking forward to championship weekend, right? The SEC and so you got Georgia, Alabama, which could be 1-2. Auburn could beat them though. You got 1-2 there, and then you got yes. What are you doing?
You're just completely negating that A&M could be there?
Yes, I'm completely
Okay, fine.
negating that. I correct. That is correct.
So they're going to lose to Auburn?
I don't know. We'll deal with that. That'll sort itself out this weekend.
They're going to lose to Ole Miss then.
Who is?
A&M.
Nah, y'all
They're
match
gonna
up
lose to
too.
LSU?
I don't know, Kayce.
So my point is,
I don't know. This isn't about A&M. This was just about
it's not. But I'm saying the
SEC championship game, number 1 against number 2. That is a playoff game.
That is a playoff game.
That's a playoff game.
That's a playoff
We
game.
will have, 4 playoff games this year, not 3.
That is a playoff game.
And then like Big Ten,
Michigan State was probably a playoff game.
Big Ten, you're going to have a playoff-bound team just trying to hold serve against the West champ. That's what you're going to have in the Big Ten. In the Big 12, you're going to have a rematch. You're going to have one of these 3 teams, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Baylor, playing another one of these 3 teams. Iowa State's not on there. I know what you're looking for. They got 3 losses.
No, I was also just looking for Penn State.
The Pac-12 championship game, Oregon probably rematches with Utah in that one. And the ACC championship game, my God, NC State's got a chance to be there. It's a wild scene in the ACC. There you go.
I gotta say something.
What?
This graphic gives me the tingles.
It really is beautiful.
It's so
I have
beautiful.
forgotten the cameras over there.
I will say, I do not like the list goes from top to bottom, not left to right, which I didn't realize when I put it in.
You didn't make that graphic,
No, I
did
did
you?
not. I pulled it from someone. It was last minute.
Oh, we're thieving?
I mean, no, you
No.
want
Doing
to
a
get
little
a
thieving?
you want to get a podcast going.
Doing a little thieving. That's fine. I like a little
Okay.
thieving every now and
But
then.
yeah, I don't like how it goes down top to bottom.
I didn't
not
even
left to
notice
right.
that, to be honest with you.
All right. There's our playoff talk.
Brandon, we went to a lovely steak dinner
We damn sure
last
did.
weekend.
Really
in
good.
Lansing.
Shout out to that restaurant in East Lansing.
Bowdy's.
Bodie's
Chop
Chop
House.
House.
Chop House. BOWDIES.
Yep.
I don't know how to say it,
And
but
you-
it was delicious.
And it was right by a.
Yeah, well.
Oh.
Okay. It was absolutely amazing. Me, you, Katie, and Dan went. I took a photo of you.
And what am I wearing?
Well, first, the photo I have to describe that was fantastic is we had some lobster mac and cheese come out with a full-ass lobster on it. And I've never seen you react the way that you did.
I was in love.
You were in love.
It was a bed of mac and cheese with a lobster tail on it.
But when I posted the photo on Twitter and Instagram, and Dan retweeted it, you retweeted, everybody retweeted it, I got a lot of comments about how nice your Peter Millar quarter zip looked.
I mean, they got over 150 colleges or something. Listen, I'm a Mississippi State fan, so I'm going to be wearing my maroon. She's going to be wearing a maroon. Katie's got the Carolina blue. Whenever we go on the road, I don't know if you've noticed, I wear that Peter Millar every Friday night. Wherever we
do.
go to dinner, I wear that to represent where I'm from.
And did you notice that because we were at Michigan State, which is obviously an MSU school, there were multiple people that were like, oh, well, that's a
Right, yeah.
That's not our
Yeah.
color, but that's a nice MSU hoodie. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, that's because it's Michigan State. But we love Peter Millar. I know that you did an ad with one of my favorite ones of A&M the other day. It's a very understated, just a little logo, but it has the gray sleeves, the white, so comfortable. I'm getting that for my mom for Christmas.
They don't just have the quarter zips. They got the polos.
They've
They
got the
all kind of
polos,
stuff.
they've got shirts, obviously a lot of golf gear, they've got the pants, they've got everything. But more importantly, right now, you can go find any of your licensed collegiate gear on Peter Millar right now. So if you go to petermillar.com/roughness, you'll get free shipping, which we love. We
Right,
love a good
sure.
free ship, but complimentary gift too.
Oh, that
I don't
sounds
even
nice.
know what the gift is, but if it's free, I'll take it.
Maybe it's a picture of me, my Peter Millar.
Probably not. If anything, it's probably me and Katie in our Peter Millar. Maybe a little autograph. Who knows?
Why are you the way you are?
Why are you the way that you
Why
are?
are you the way that you are?
Because I wear my Peter Millar. Go to petermillar.com/reference right now for free shipping and a complimentary gift with your order.
We got a lot other stuff. even if this hadn't happened.
Oh man,
Even
do
if
we
the
have a
playoff-
story.
We have got. Give me a time check on this. So how
Jack-
far are we in? Imagine a world where there's a Texas stripper monkey, and we haven't even talked about it till now.
A Texas stripper monkey with a stripper named
Pole
Pole
Assassin.
Assassin.
Who's been on Jerry Springer?
Probably the most famous pole assassin since Hitler. This guy, this stripper,
I don't get it.
didn't he invade Poland?
Yes. Got it.
Some of my jokes are a little too
No, that's
smart.
fine.
Oh no, I got it.
Was that not good?
I
No,
loved
that
it.
was good. That was like
I think
above.
And do you think you might have ruined it a little bit?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get it. I'm usually good with that stuff too.
Brandon,
Yeah, cut
I
out
liked
shirts
it.
too for.
All gas, no primates.
We're gonna change it to no gas, all primates though.
No gas, all.
All gas, no primates. No,
I
gas,
think
all
that
primates?
would be a better shirt without the saying at all. I think just a stripper monkey.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I do love.
Anyway,
I love,
she's been on Jerry Springer.
Yeah, that's where she got the name Pole Assassin.
No.
Oh.
Way before.
The
She-
goat, Gary Springer.
Gary
Jerry Springer's tweet about her, whatever year that was, said she is the goat.
2017.
Imagine. First of all, I judge no people for how they make a living. But imagine when you are sitting down to come up with your stripper name, thinking, "What do I do well? Well, I assassinate that fucking pole. That's what I do. I go after that fucking pole like it's none of its business."
It's a brilliant name. I've never been to a strip club, but like, imagine if you had a strip club and somebody coming out and saying, "Here comes Pole Assassin."
Yeah, no.
You are like, you may be watching a game over there, but you hear Pole Assassin.
So let me just paint a picture for you. Let me paint a picture. Me and Jack are at a strip club. Hold on. I'd like
You've
to
never
paint
been to a strip club?
No, why would I go to a strip club? I don't like the idea of them. I think it's.
They give me the creeps.
They
too.
give everyone
Yeah.
the creeps.
Right.
Well, not everyone. Most people the creeps.
I mean, I
no
love
offense.
titties, but I do not
no
like.
offense.
yeah.
I like to earn
offense.
them.
No offense. I mean, I think they're creepy
You do.
too.
You pay for them there. You earn them.
No, I like to earn them though.
It's just kind of shocking. Jack hasn't been one.
Just
time.
imagine me and you are sitting in a strip club. We're at the Pony on Highway 45 in Mississippi, right? And we're just sitting there, and some Van Halen, Panama, and that's all playing, and everything's going crazy. And it's the DJ saying, "All right, up next on the main stage, we got Cinnamon. After Cinnamon, Desire, and after her,
Main event of the
the
evening.
main event of the evening." And we're just okay. What time is it? Y'all ready to go?
Sounds like
The
WWE.
Pole Assassin. I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, Bruce Buffer's gonna bring her out.
What?
Yeah.
It's time. The Pole Assassin. And not only that, we're watching. All right, here comes the Pole Assassin. What? Does she? Is
Is
that a monkey?
a domesticated monkey?
Is that a monkey?
Apparently not that domesticated.
There's a strip there, and we haven't even
We
told the
haven't
story
got-
yet.
Yeah, we haven't gotten. Wait, I think it is
This-
domesticated.
here's the
It's
thing.
the 11, 12-year-old's fault.
And again, right? Again, we were pointing at this as if this is like our chalkboard or our whiteboard. God, I sounded old just then. But I'm pointing back at this photo. This monkey
Has ones in its
it's holding ones in its mouth.
right, yeah.
And in its
It's a
hands.
stripper. Technically, the monkey's a stripper too, right?
Are we into bestiality now?
But it's a monkey.
Okay, we haven't even
It's
told
a monkey.
the college football part of this. If I just told you half this story and then said,
Here's a question.
and then
How much of our audience do you think hasn't heard this?
none, you're right.
No. I
No,
think
actually-
I
More-
think it
more-
was 50%.
Okay, all right.
Because you have to be so. This is the world that we live in because we work here. That Twitter is everything.
Yeah.
There are so many people that are not on Twitter.
Okay.
So many.
So if I told you there was a stripper out there called the Pole Assassin who had a pet monkey,
Gia.
when they were trick or treating, or when trick or treating was happening on Sunday night, a kid went too close to the monkey or something, and the monkey bit the person. If I told you this human being that has the monkey was dating an assistant coach for a college football team, I think you'd probably guess University of Texas. I think
Welcome,
Texas might be
baby.
one of your first guesses. Like what? Coastal maybe? Coastal Carolina?
Yeah, coastal.
West Virginia.
South Florida because
No,
it's
West-
Tampa.
West
West Virginia?
West
Yeah.
Virginia, 1,000%.
West Virginia, okay, but no,
hillbillies.
it is
No offense.
Jeff Banks, the special
was
teams
a personal one, I'm
coordinator
sorry.
at the University of Texas, who is
Makes $1
dating
million
the
a
Pole
year.
Assassin.
Hold on. Also,
Wait, the monkey's name is Gia, or the
Gia.
Yeah.
the stripper's name is Gia?
No,
No,
the monkey.
Okay.
It has its own
Pole
Instagram.
Assassin's name is Danielle Banks, I think.
Well,
they're not dating.
they
I
got
think
married?
I think they're married. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Also,
so she has to
we've
show up
not-
to the wives and girlfriend ticket section?
We've
like
not.
that?
Yes.
The monkey does too.
Yeah,
We've
she
not-
used the special teams.
We've
coach,
not
yeah.
put this out there yet that he also, Jeff Banks, was married with children and left said marriage and children for the pole assassin.
As you do. I mean, that's what you do.
And it should also be noted, after they left, she retired from the game.
So question.
She did.
Yeah,
Question.
she's left the game.
She's no longer. She's the ex pole assassin.
So is Jeff Banks the monkey's stepdad?
yeah.
Yeah, because the monkey was like, that video on the right was like, he may have been in that scenario that you said that laid out between us,
Right.
and was so enthralled with the pole assassin. Imagine, you were playing that out, but then on top of it, imagine then thinking, fuck it, I'm gonna leave my wife and kids for this
Yeah.
woman
And her monkey. And also, it's been deleted, but the internet keeps receipts, as Twitter does.
Right.
The pole assassin last night
Tried to tweet through it.
tried to tweet through it, but also
And did a good job.
Also did a good job because she showed us the video
Mm-hmm.
of the Banks residence. Have you seen this?
I have not seen
Oh,
it.
Brandon. So she comes. It's a
We have
selfie
to-
video, and she comes through and she says, "Okay, listen." She was like, "This is what I want everybody to see." They had created a haunted house
Right.
on like the side of their backyard. She shows that you have to go through a fence, then you go through the haunted house, and then on the other side there's a fence that's covered in balloons that says "Turn around." You cannot come past this gate. Okay. This child, adult,
11-year-old, yeah.
goes past the balloons, goes past the "Please do not continue."
Gets bit by a monkey.
No.
Oh.
Oh no.
Okay.
But wait, there's more. She then shows their entire backyard, including a gigantic pool and a hot tub, and that you have to go around the house. Then you get to another gate that says, "Do not enter emotional support animals,
Right.
here," or whatever. Do not enter.
And then gets bit by a monkey.
Then you have to open up that gate,
Right.
go into the pen, and then stick your hand into Gia's cage.
Well,
And then he gets bit by a monkey.
Yes.
This is all according. So for people that don't know, this all started with one tweet. It was alleged that a trick-or-treater was, on Halloween night, obviously, was assaulted by this. And I thought to myself, it was just like at the door.
Yeah.
Then it comes out that on like a neighbor's app, which is an app for like parents and stuff in suburbs, she put out
like the Citizen app in New York.
Yeah, like put a statement out and said, "Hey, like, come to my residence. We're having a maze from 7 to 9:30, and then adults swing by from like 9 to 11." So there was like an adult part too.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, she then explains the whole thing on Twitter in that video that Kayce perfectly laid out.
Thank you.
And this is all alleged. We're not sure if we haven't heard if the monkey. We haven't heard from the parents that the
Haven't heard
monkey.
from parents, the kid,
that
or the monkey.
attacked. And she said that the monkey only attacked, like did a little bit of like some scratches. The kid's fine, according to her.
Okay.
And she
She said
also
she hasn't heard from
blamed
the
the
parents.
trick-or-treaters.
Listen, I've been in a situation where I've leaned into a stripper's ear and says, "Can I see your monkey?" And imagine that leading to all of this. The Jeff Banks did that one day, and then all of a sudden we get all the way down to this.
God, he's so proud of that.
I've been waiting for like 45 minutes to say that.
Also, this is not a no-name coach. Dennis Dodd tweeted out on October 18th, one name to watch in the Washington State search, which goes to show, like, this is all connected. One name to watch in the Washington State search is Texas assistant head coach / special teams coordinator Jeff Banks, former Washington player who was a key member of Nick Saban's staff, making $1 million as the special teams coach at Texas. And that house, by the way, this video.
So Pole Assassin living good.
Oh, Pole Assassin got that bag and left. She cashed out.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
All right.
Also,
Is a monkey
An
vaccinated?
11 to 12-year-old should know better than to enter someone's yard without permission, and old enough to also follow the rules. The rules were when you get to the gate, turn around and come back out for candy. Every other parent and child did so. That's from Pole Assassin on Twitter.
yeah, Pole Assassin, she was letting it fly. So apparently Pole Assassin and Jeff Banks met when he was at Alabama.
Not the first time Alabama coach is falling for a stripper.
Yeah, I had a tweet.
That's true.
Yeah, I said
true.
Mike Price has got to be like,
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
I mean,
Like-
but that stripper didn't have a fucking monkey.
Like, he got fired for going to the strip club. This Alabama, he was a key member of Nick Saban's staff.
And
Yeah.
then he got a raise after he started dating the pole assassin. But this came out from a guy named Taylor Ham who works for 24/7
Right.
in College Station. When Jeff Banks was at A&M,
Yeah.
he was accidentally sending
Yeah.
Taylor Ham booty calls that he was trying to pick up.
He'd be like, hey, baby girl. Like,
He's like,
Yeah.
hey, baby girl, next time I'm out here in California,
Was that
like,
like
let me
4
take
a.m.?
you
Jeff
out.
Banks kind of fucks.
How do we not know about the pole assassin before
we did.
now?
We did.
Apparently you and I didn't, but a lot of people did.
Texags was talking about the pole
Shout
assassin
out-
back in
Shout
January.
out college football forums.
Somebody
No.
also messaged me over in January about pole assassin. I just ignored it. Also, just one last tweet from. She goes by Danny on Twitter. Twitter's gone now. But this PFT commenter responded to our PFT commenter said, "I don't want to believe it. Is your monkey in the child okay?" No one was viciously attacked. This is a lie, a whole lie. She was not a part of any haunted house. The kid did not have permission to be on the other side of my property. Thank you for clearing this up. Seems like a media witch hunt special. That is all.
All right.
And
Now,
asked her to come on the
that's
pod.
enough about the pole assassin. We got a lot of other stuff to talk about. That was fun.
I don't know if I can stop talking about the pole assassin.
Well, I'm sure we'll have some pole assassin jokes come up a couple times. So we go from what a transition that was.
The next time a field goal is missed,
Yeah.
we like it.
Oh no! Next time there's a doink,
A
off
doink, yeah.
the upright.
Yeah,
That
we
guy's
call
a
him the
pole assassin.
Yeah, especially like imagine if Dicker the
my
kicker
God.
didn't expect that pole assassin to be there.
The kicker, not the only dicker on Texas's team.
Wait, are they going to fire him?
I don't. Why?
I don't know.
I mean,
No,
the
yeah.
man
It's
can
all
marry whoever he
consensual.
wants.
And it's public. Like he's brought her to.
She's
like,
on the field and shit,
on
yeah.
field, like she's like like
I mean, also,
it doesn't seem like they broke any
now
laws.
I think if we lived in the world we lived in 20 years ago, like, did we really need to fire Mike Price for going to a strip
No.
club? He's a grown man.
Yeah, no.
If he wants to go to a strip club,
And
he
it was
should
all
be able
consensual.
to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gary Patterson, in a story that would lead this show a lot. In fact, we got about 3 or 4 stories that would lead this show a lot. He's not beating the playoff or the pole assassin.
no, in no world.
In no world would Gary Patterson
Gary
beat
Patterson
the pole
out
assassin.
at TCU. To me, this is not because I've at least said a couple of years in a row now, like, hey, Gary Patterson is put up as this good coach, but he hasn't really been good for a while.
Yeah, I've been with you.
And he hasn't been good, but now he's out. And now that he's out, though, it's like he's one of those guys. I think Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern's one. I think Ferentz at Iowa is one. Whittingham at Utah is one. Like, it's hard to separate the coach from the program
Shaw?
at this point. Not David Shaw, because I saw Harbaugh.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but I think Gary Patterson and TCU are like one and the same. I mean, he built this thing. He got them into 2 conferences.
If you go back on their if you type in record by year TCU
Right.
and you go back to what they were before Gary Patterson,
But they were
came over,
nothing.
literally nothing. I put in this tweet that they had just 6 winning seasons over the 33 years before Gary Patterson took over in like 2000, and then within 10 years he was in the college football playoff discussion.
I mean,
BCS discussion.
TCU was South Alabama. They were Southern
Yeah.
Miss. That's who they were in the
And
90s.
that guy
built it.
and Lincoln Riley said today in his press conference, he's like, well, Gary Patterson's not closing out the season with the program that he built. That ain't right.
That's not right.
I agree. But
Do
he
you?
could
But
have
I
decided.
would say,
He chose that, yeah,
I was
yeah.
about to
He
say,
could
like,
have
that,
decided.
That feels like a Gary Patterson.
They should
thing.
name the damn stadium after him, like Bill Snyder.
I kind of agree. No, I do agree with that. I don't kind of agree with
Or
it.
like
But
Gary Patterson Field at whatever
But
stadium.
the weird thing is, I also kind of get it. Like, I get why
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
move
yeah.
on because he hasn't been good lately. He also, and here's the thing, and here's the layer to the TCU Gary Patterson divorce that not a lot of people are saying, but I am the sharpest college football mind in America, and I see this. This isn't about TCU. It's not about Gary Patterson. This is kind of about Texas and Oklahoma. Because what is happening here is a lot like what's going to happen at LSU. The next LSU coach has an opportunity when Saban retires to dominate the SEC. The next coach at TCU has a chance to grab the spots left open by Texas and Oklahoma. When they leave, there's a leadership vacuum. There's a monster vacuum. There's an icon vacuum. There's a hole there for somebody to be the tentpole program of the Big 12. If they get the hire right, they could do it.
I completely agree. I feel like since we've started doing this podcast together that we've kind of made fun of I don't know how long the narrative is. You'd have to go back and look, Jack or Katie, but it was every other year Gary Patterson was bad, right? Or not bad, but he would have a really good year and then a down year and then a really good year and then a down year. And the whole TCU narrative was like, well, Gary Patterson never puts back-to-back bad years together. That's just not been true for a long time.
No, it hasn't been. And they weren't very good this year, and now he's out. So does that mean? I mean, he's not an old guy. I don't know how old he is, but
he's been at TCU for 20 years.
22 years, I believe. And I would guess he's definitely 50s, maybe 60.
I'm going to say 62.
I'm going to say 57.
I'm going to say 62.
I'm going to say 57.
All right, I'm going to say 62.
I'm going to say 57.
61.
Ha!
I won.
No.
Price is Right rules.
No, bullshit.
Went over.
Oh, my
dun,
God.
dun, dun, dun. Wow. I won. Should have bet $1. Actually, I should have.
If he's so established here at TCU and connected to the team, do you think he'll ever coach somewhere else?
If I was ever on Price is Right, I'm going to answer that question. If I was ever on Price is Right and I bid $250 and somebody bid $251, I'd punch them right in the fucking lips.
Oh, I
I'd
would
just
too.
punch the shit out of them.
I would too.
But to get your own fucking bid,
Yeah.
asshole.
I would too.
It is hard to imagine Gary Patterson somewhere else, but
Like
it's
for
not.
Coach O. Like they're so established and connected to the name.
Yeah, but
Gary Patterson.
22 years. I mean, Ed Orgeron, for all that, he's only been at LSU
Yeah.
for what, 8 years, 9 years?
Fair.
He hasn't been there that long.
But I see what you mean.
But
Like from a
Orgeron's a cultural thing.
right.
Like he's a Cajun. He's one of them.
Like, can you
Yeah.
imagine him at like USC?
Oh, yeah.
That's
A
when he
lot
talks.
of blonde,
Orgeron?
a lot of small blonde girls over there.
Do y'all know what we're saying?
Orgeron, Coach O, he was already there.
No,
Yeah.
I mean like, now.
Oh, okay.
Now.
all right.
Now.
Okay, so
Like, can you imagine if he goes
okay,
back
could you
there now?
could you imagine Patterson at USC?
No. But after all of this, Orgeron, he's now divorced.
Right.
He's won a national title. He's running around with all the co-eds.
Right.
He sounds the way he does, and now you ship him back to LA?
I bet my boy Ed O is texting Jeff Banks like, "Hey, she got a sister?
Can you
Hey, she got a sister?"
Can you imagine Jeff Banks and the pole assassin
On a double date with Ed Orgeron.
Assassin,
and a USC co-ed of the night?
Whew, a lot going on. College football's horny.
Well, the world is horny.
Speaking of horny, the Horned Frogs are looking for a new coach. That was good, and you know it.
That was dad. That
know
was a dad
it.
joke too.
It was
Bad
good.
joke, but it was good.
It was a
that
good
was
one.
good.
But I do like your angle of it. It means it shows that it means more about Texas and Oklahoma.
I think they're going to catch a good coach at LSU and USC are going to pass on. Like, I think a Billy Napier wants the LSU job. He's not going to get it because he's not named. I bet he ends up at like TCU and does great.
I know we mentioned this for Texas Tech, and I cringed. There's no way that like an Art Bryos.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think TCU would. I'm just, it doesn't feel, Tech being out there and being an outlier makes a little more sense.
Texas Christian University might be tough.
Yeah, it might be a hard sell.
Okay.
It might be a hard sell. Although, Hugh Freeze was fired for hookers, and he's just playing
Yeah,
it. He's just at Liberty. Yeah.
I would make the argument. We don't have to go back down the morality off, but I'd make the argument that buying hookers and what was going on at Baylor, two different things.
I
Well,
agree, but I'm just
I
saying.
mean, Hugh may have been not been buying hookers for himself.
Oh, he was not. Anyway.
Yeah, but
and it could have been for
But, let he who hasn't bought a hooker
Yeah.
for a 17-year-old boy cast the first stone. I'm
cast the
sure.
first stone,
I
yeah.
mean,
this is just all alleged. Like I
if
have
that's
no
a
evidence.
crime, lock
we
me
have no
up.
we have no evidence.
All right, so
of any-
USC.
move on. All right, Clay Helton going to Georgia Southern. This is one of those that I'm like, good for him. Wait, what?
Yep.
Georgia Southern plays a style of football. They play the option. He's going to coach the option.
Yeah, no. My first two thoughts were, I don't care, and then what? That's like literally that is when I saw Bruce Feldman's tweet, and I was like, okay, who cares?
Speaking
Wait a
of
minute.
culture shock,
Yeah.
going from L.A. to Statesboro, Georgia,
I
which
mean,
I would much rather live in Statesboro, Georgia. I promise you.
no.
Oh yes.
Yeah. No, I think Statesboro would be my.
I love LA, but to go from USC money,
To
LA
Georgia
money
Southern.
to Georgia Southern for $800,000 a year.
Well, it's not like he's leaving USC money. I mean, a lot of that USC money is coming with him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you're right. But I just those were my two gut reactions. Was like I don't care at all, and then what?
Keep going, Katie. All right,
Oh,
now this poor man.
First, before we get there,
Yeah.
I must say, And we know that the internet is the internet.
Right.
I don't think I've seen as many people mad at our own Jack McGuire than the caption on this Instagram that we put up.
Oh, I haven't seen this. What are we talking about?
Apparently, I didn't even read it, but I was getting like tweets and stuff. Like,
what did you put on caption? A Dan Mullen caption? What was it?
Yeah. I don't think it was that big of a deal. But
this shows I don't even read your
but
comments.
No, I don't eat. People were like, I got a DM that was like, love you and Brandon, but Jack's really, really ruining the account. Like, this is so out of context.
Agreed.
And I was like, I didn't go look at it. I'll be honest. So I didn't. He was like, but
wait, I think they were mad about the Coach O one.
Oh.
But the Coach O one, guys, 11,000 likes on a post on Instagram is like disgusting numbers.
All right, here we go.
I did my job
What was
correctly.
the Coach O one?
Focus
We'll
up.
get there.
All right,
Okay.
focus up. So, and I am going to go into this rant and this conversation, and I'm a little smugly satisfied tonight because 4 years ago, Dan Mullen left to go to greener pastures.
Left
and
for a
now
hotter
those
girl.
and now those pastures are about to eat him, and we're sitting. Mike Leach, future looks pretty good all of a sudden. So
Dan Mullen left for a hotter girlfriend, potentially with
yeah,
a monkey.
and
the
that
monkey
bitch
bit him in the
crazy.
ass.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She is crazy. So Gators coach Dan Mullen, who is going through it anyway, he's 4-4 this season, just got killed by Georgia, and Kirby Smart knew what he was doing. When Kirby Smart was talking about after the game about how important recruiting was and how you can't out-coach good players, he knew what he was doing. He knows the argument between him and Mullen is Mullen's a better coach, Kirby's a better recruiter. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was throwing gasoline on the fire. But so Dan Mullen was asked about recruiting yesterday in his press conference, and he says, we're in the season now. We'll do recruiting after the season. When it gets to recruiting time, we can talk about recruiting. Now, this is the world that he signed himself up for. He signed up for a program that only wants to win national championships and recruiting championships. If you're not winning, if you're not getting top 5 classes, you suck. If you're not winning national titles, you suck. That's what Dan Mullen signed up for. He also signed up for an absolutely crazy scenario when he can say something like this that is totally innocuous in my opinion, and he is absolutely lambasted and burned at the stake for it by Florida's fans who want him gone. They want him gone now because they are saying, oh, he's not even going to recruit during the season. No, this man said, we're at a press conference. We're in the season. I'm not going to talk about recruiting right now. That's kind of stupid. And Gator fans absolutely hate him for it. Hate him for it.
Well, what I don't understand about his thought process, and maybe it's just because my brain doesn't work the same way as him, but we talked about it on Sunday. Something broke him last year, whatever it may be, whether it was the Georgia game, whether it was the A&M game, whatever it was, something broke him where he just couldn't say anything right. He's now on the hot seat because they just keep losing, and then he walks out and has this to say. Like, this is not what you say when you're trying to, like, save your job.
I guess not, but I still think it's like, all right, guys, we're in the season. We'll talk about recruiting later. He's saying we'll talk about recruiting. He's not saying we're going to do the recruiting later.
Well, no, but like you have to know that when like all the time we talk about coaches. If you're winning and you say an asshole thing, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
if
that's our guy. That's my guy.
That's guy. Doesn't matter. If you're losing and you have something that could even minorly be picked apart, that's all people are going to care about, and that's what he did. I understand what he's trying to say.
He also doesn't have a good recruiting class right now. He's an awful recruiting class.
So
no top 100
so
recruits.
That's what I was going to.
And if he had good recruits right now, this would be all cute and funny.
This isn't just like. This
And after this, that's like off the next line he says is next question. He's like snaps instantly. He's like, we're over this.
Dan Mullen can be a dick in these press conferences. I've seen it before.
Yeah,
I've seen him snap on people. But to me, this was an innocuous comment, but he has gotten himself into the fire. If you're not going to recruit at Florida, you're not going to stay at Florida, period. Here's the rub about SEC jobs. You can say you want it. You can say this, and everybody you have to win all year long. And we say it's all about winning championships and all that. It's not. If Kirby wasn't winning the way Kirby winning in February and December on signing day has helped Georgia fans deal with his chokes, has helped Georgia fans have patience with him because he's building. Florida fans don't see the house being built. They don't want a guy who's going to develop players. They want a guy who's going to recruit in the I'll just say it, the best state for talent in the country. With Florida State down, with Miami down, Dan Mullen isn't recruiting worth a shit, and he's going to get fired for it, whether it's this year or next year. And that athletic director, that turncoat, that guy that left Mississippi State when he was given the keys to our kingdom and the number one spot in the Mississippi State world, He left for better things, even though he's a Mississippi State guy, a Mississippi State grad. He left, and then poached Mullen. I hope they both get fired. Fuck them.
I love when you get passionate.
Fuck them.
Were you like a week or two ago saying that?
Oh, I love Dan Mullen.
Yes.
Yeah, but to say
I
that
love Dan
if
Mullen.
Mississippi State opened back up, you would take Dan Mullen
In a
back.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
But you know what,
There we
though?
go.
I'm going to give you this.
Yeah.
And we do so many dating analogies in sports because it is so easy. But Brandon's just going through it right now. He's down bad with a toxic ex he can't get away from.
I'm not down bad at all.
No,
I'm
no,
living
no,
my
no,
life.
I'm saying,
He's nationally
no.
ranked.
No, right now you're. But I'm saying no. I'm saying like the way that you feel about Dan Mullen is like half the time, like, you know, if you're in a desperate spot the way
Yeah.
you were a few weeks ago, you're like, damn, I missed that toxic ex. He was really good for me. She was really good for me. And then a couple things happen. A couple things go wrong in the toxic ex relationship. You're a little bit on the hard. You're like, fuck him. I don't need him.
Well, there's also a little bit like there's a little bit like, okay, well, he
That didn't feel personal at all, did it?
All right. She left me for this hot guy. She left me a couple of years ago, and now that hot guy's
Got fat.
treating her like shit. And I told her it was going to happen. I said, hey, you don't recruit, they're going to treat you like shit. You don't win, they're going to treat you like shit. I told you not to go to that guy. I told you that it's not always
You
greener.
tried to call
But
their
off
bluff.
you went. Oh, I'll just go down there and I'll do this. I'll wear my visor and I'll win. No, your ass going to
Go
get fired.
off, King.
So in the
Go
last
off.
4 recruiting cycles, Georgia has signed 27 top 50 prospects. Alabama has signed 24.
Right.
LSU has signed 11.
Right.
Florida has signed 4.
4.
And then
And this is Florida.
also, when you played NCAA football, did you also ignore recruiting or?
Fuck no, that was the best part of the game.
Okay.
Sometimes I would simulate the games just to recruit.
Okay.
I love recruiting.
I
could go in a living room and shake a guy's hand.
Yeah.
I'd
Always be
promise him
recruiting.
playing time.
I was a recruiting skipper.
I'd lie
I
to
think-
him. Yeah.
Oh,
I
think I
played
would be
the Dan
such a good
Mullen like,
recruiter.
I'll deal with it after we won the Natty.
I think I would be such a good recruiter.
You skip recruiting? That was the best part of the
I
game.
know, it was like, for whatever reason, it didn't get me going.
Dan skipped
Wait.
recruiting with Doug's. I was like, well, that's the best part of the game.
Do you actually like
Voices.
go into their living room like
No,
you
no,
do
no,
on
no,
like?
no.
Can you imagine if they created a game like The Sims,
Where you
and
walk in their
you
living
walk
room?
in and like they have their different houses and you get to like
Yeah.
that
Do,
would
do
be.
you,
Man,
shake,
where's
do
your
you
monkey?
shake your hand or you give him a hug?
Also,
Is the pole assassin here?
by the way, that recruiting video is probably sent to every recruit that was either thinking about Florida or already committed there.
Listen, Kirby is whipping his ass on the recruiting trail, and that's what they care about more. In the SEC, they kind of care about recruiting more than the games. It's sick, it's weird, it's twisted, but it's kind of the truth. And
Dan Mullen can't keep his own foot out of his mouth.
Also, you're right. You can't be an SEC coach and like.
and say bad things about recruiting.
Yeah.
It's a $1 billion
can't.
business down there. He's going to get fired this year or next. Then he'll go to a TCU. He'll go to an Iowa State. He'll go to a Northwestern. He'll go to somewhere middling like Mississippi State, and just be great.
Yeah.
He'll be great.
Because that's a school where you can kind of ignore recruiting.
Hey, that's a
happened to
school where
firing
you're
Todd
going to
Monken?
get the kind of guys that you can develop
Yeah,
into,
yeah, yeah,
and you're going to
yeah.
get the patience to do it your way.
Yeah.
And his way works. His
Yeah.
way does work.
Just not at Florida.
What happened to your theory that he's going to save his job by Todd Monken being fired and then he'll be on the hot seat for next year?
Todd Grantham.
Grantham, Monken, same thing.
Not even.
I know they're
That's
not.
another
Hey,
What's an
one.
offensive
hey,
co- okay.
she made a
Move on.
mistake.
Coach?
You know what I mean.
Just like you left
I think
Michigan
he's
State
going to
out.
sacrifice Todd Graham and his offensive line coach, John Hevesy. I think he's going to sacrifice him. He's going to try, but it's getting – now, the best thing he's got in the world is his schedule because he's 4-4 now, but it's all sunshine and roses from here on out. I think he's got Vanderbilt, Missouri perhaps.
I think they've already played Vandy, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, he has played, but I think it's all easy from
I know
here
what
on
you're
out.
saying,
And he's
yeah.
got Florida State.
I mean, they've played a really tough schedule. So
He's got South Carolina this weekend.
Yeah,
He's
they-
got Missouri.
probably has like a Charleston
He's got
Southern
an
in there.
FCS team, and he's got
It's
Florida State.
South Carolina, Samford, Missouri, Florida State. Bless
If he loses any of those games, he could get fired. I don't think he will. He also not starting Anthony Richardson until he played the best defense in the last 30 years is mind-boggling to me.
We talked about that on Sunday,
Right.
and it really resonated when like you think about the fact that it's not like he's a guy like, okay, we'll see what he decides to do with quarterbacks. He's been quite literally named like the quarterback whisperer.
Right.
He's this guy, and our dumbasses sitting in New York in our pajamas on Sunday morning are like, what the fuck has he been thinking? And he's just, I mean, he's been named the quarterback guy his entire career.
Yep. All
Dak
right.
Prescott. Oh, speaking of Dak. Now, obviously, he's in the MVP race right now.
What are we speaking
No,
of?
no, no,
Dak?
no, no. the Dallas Cowboys this year. I mean, side note,
They're good.
they're so fucking good.
They're good. Yeah.
You can, I mean, he is the most important part of that team, no doubt.
Yeah.
But they just proved that you can just kind of let him
Well, I
rest.
played the Vikings too.
Still,
Yeah.
that team's fucking good.
Yeah, they're good. I think they could win the Super Bowl. All right. Next, please.
Speaking of coaches saying bad things,
This was weird.
Oh yeah, this isn't good.
This was weird. Okay.
Yeah, this is
All right. Here we go.
this is
Washington coach Jimmy Lake, which I don't know why that sentence is a thing. That guy has just destroyed that program, and like they're not good. He's not a good coach. Takes over for Chris Peterson a couple years ago, and Washington has basically disappeared from the college football map. All right, he was asked today if Oregon is a recruiting rival. First of all, they better be. If they're not a recruiting rival, then what the fuck are you doing as the Washington head coach?
Yeah.
Because Oregon is a power on the West Coast. If you're not recruiting rivals with the other powers, you're not trying to be a power.
No, well, yeah, well, the reason for that is because he had a little snideness to him, a little, we're better than Oregon because of the academic.
Well, I was going to get to the quote.
well.
Yeah,
but
that's
hey,
you've never ruined my point before. You've never
I-
like in the middle of my
No,
sentence
I
been like,
didn't
"Oh,
ruin my
finish
point, but I'm
my
going
sentence."
to
Hey,
say.
hey,
All right, you know what?
I'm-
Jimmy Lake, go ahead.
I'm going to say what he said.
Okay.
Do you want to read it since you want to talk so fucking bad?
No.
No, I want Jack to read it.
No, you're gonna read it, and then you're going
JD,
to make your
you'll get
points,
shot 3 times, so you don't put your guns up.
and then you're gonna read it.
Jimmy Lake was asked.
Wait,
I hate that guy
That
on
has-
YouTube. This guy, the
This-
president
this-
That's
of
the
Oregon.
dorkiest looking dork I've ever
this
seen.
is
That's
this
that's
is-
like Dilbert. He looks like
You
Dilbert.
guys- Coke bottle
no,
glasses.
no offense to Michael Schill.
oh my
Bless
god,
you. He looks like the banker that you walk in and try to avoid because you know he's going to try to
Oh,
like
fuck, not
upsell
this
you.
guy.
Yeah. Side note, Jack, while you're making notes over there, I absolutely must have the gif of Katie when we're all doing this and she just goes,
Okay, yeah.
Washington coach Jimmy Lake asked today if Oregon is a recruiting rival. That is way more pumped up than it is. Our battles are really the schools that we go against have academic prowess, like the University of Washington, Notre Dame, Stanford, USC.
where's Vanderbilt?
We go with a lot of battles, toe-to-toe, all the way to the end with those schools. So I think that's made up and pumped up in the media's world. In our world, we battle more academically prowess
Where's
teams.
Duke
First of all,
football, then?
what a way to botch that last phrase, more academically prowess teams.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Lake, I know it's more passionate in the SEC. Everything I just said is also true anywhere in the college football world. You are not hired to get good students. You're just not. You're not hired. You are not a professor. If a professor of science said this, oh, that makes a lot of sense. They're battling for the good science students. You're fighting for football players. I guarantee you, Mario Cristobal isn't worried about the academic standing of the teams he's facing in recruiting. He's worried about getting a guy that runs a 4.4 and is 6'4", 240.
you think Brian Kelly gives a lovely motherfuck about somebody going to poli-sci?
This is just so.
No,
That was good.
I think they do though.
They do care about it more at those schools, but I promise you, your job is to get football players first and foremost. You cannot say to your football fans who buy your football tickets, hey, I don't consider Oregon a rival. First of all, you're shitting on them because they consider Oregon a huge rival. And if you're not considering that, then you're not in line with your fans. And I'm sorry,
But
in a football battle, who has the best grades in chemistry doesn't
if
matter.
I was a
No,
Washington
it does not
booster
matter.
though, I wouldn't mind this comment.
They just need to be academically eligible. It doesn't really matter past that.
Oregon President Michael Schill, who I hate, says UW is a wonderful school with a great football history. I have great respect and affection for its president, its academic and football program, and its former exceptional football coach, Coach Peterson. I look forward to our team meeting theirs on the gridiron this Saturday. Well, that was just a little bitchy thing to say, wasn't it? I have respect for their former coach, but fuck their current guy. That's fair enough.
And people
Petty.
did love Coach Peterson.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah.
Oh, by
Well,
the way,
good coach.
every time I go to say Chris Peterson, I get really scared. I'm going to say Scott Peterson.
Think he'll ever come back?
Scott Peterson? I don't know.
No, Chris.
Oh yeah, I think he's too good a coach not to.
Yeah, I feel
not
like
to coach
he'll
him.
be a name that will pop up
Scott-
and be like, "Oh, he's coming back."
I think
Cool.
it'll be like 3 years down the line we will have forgotten about him and then oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I could also see him like taking Boise again
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Oh,
something
like
else.
because Boise's like on hard times now.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
down. They're starting to go
Yeah.
down for the first time in 20 years. I can
What
see
about
him.
beating BYU?
I
Huh?
thought we were going
beat
back.
They beat BYU, but they've been awful.
Did
Other than that.
they beat Colorado State this weekend, or did they lose?
They lost, didn't they?
They lost.
I don't know.
I feel like they
I don't
lost.
know. I
They
think
got
they
close
lost.
at the end.
It's just Boise.
I
All right.
think we can all agree though that this Michael Schill character is a square.
Dork.
He's a
Yeah.
square. An L7 weenie.
L7 weenie. Keep going.
That's it for the major news.
Oh.
Shit.
Well, now we got to talk
I don't
about
know,
Jack.
an hour and a half into this thing.
Jack pissing off everybody on.
Oh, Coach O.
Yeah.
Okay.
That clip was unbelievable.
Which one was it? Was that him saying that we suck?
Yeah. People got so mad about that on me on Instagram. So
I'm gonna go read the
Coach
DM. that I
O,
got.
yeah,
Can I
yeah. No,
play
you
it?
can go to the comment. The comment section is the best part.
Okay.
Can I play it or?
It's a long clip, but
Oh, we do,
pretty
okay.
much what happens is he gets asked about, on your bye week you spent a lot of time scouting, and the guy who asked him it was talking about LSU, but Coach O goes like, "Oh no, Alabama's a great team. I mean, they're amazing." He laughs and he's like, and then the reporter goes, "Hey, Coach O, like we were talking about." No, you guys. And then he just lists off everything wrong about his offense and defense. Now I get it. He's being honest about his team, and it's not like he's saying it was actually like they actually suck.
He also doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck anymore. And it was just like this
Oh,
clip he
man.
just did 50 seconds on how his defense is too predictable. His offenses doesn't come out in the right sets on first downs. He keeps going and going and going.
I love that he's a head coach and he's complaining.
I know. That's also
these-
it. And then people were like, unbelievable that you said something like this. This is out of context, fake news, blah, 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 blah. Guys, yeah, I played it up a little bit. He didn't say exactly, us, we suck. But people were like,
Jack,
this page is
this
full of...
LSU fans, you gotta quit being so sensitive. Yes, Jack stinks.
I
Yes,
don't know.
he's
I
the
don't
worst.
know who runs this page, if it's Jack or what, but either y'all are huge LSU haters or Coach O haters. But good Lord, some of y'all's posts are horrendous on here.
I mean,
Crazy
it
to
got
have a quote that is
11,000
blatantly
likes.
incorrect in the same post as a video you're quoting. Oh, you put us, we suck in quotes, but he didn't say that.
Yes.
Why? He just didn't say it. Oh my God, this is so fucking funny.
Okay, all right. What else?
It was just all comments like that.
Let's look. The app is live now in Iowa, the state of Iowa. We are now live in 10 states. The Barstool Sportsbook, 10 states now in Iowa. So if you are an Iowa or an Iowa State fan, you can now bet
There's
college
a great
football
promo.
on the Barstool Sportsbook. I'm not aware of the promo. If Katie wants to say it.
Basically, if you bet on Iowa or Iowa State, the odds are boosted. I think that they're both roughly minus 110, and I think one's plus 200, one's plus 220.
Beautiful.
They
weekend?
took on the spread. So the juice,
spread,
the
yeah.
juice. So like if you want to take Iowa State minus the points this weekend in
Yeah.
Iowa,
Yeah.
you can get them instead of laying 110 to win 100. It's you lay 100, and then
win
your
200.
return would be
Yeah.
200 to 220, which is, I mean, unheard of. That's a great deal.
Also, and Iowa's playing Northwestern, so that's
Yeah.
All right. Do you have the slate pulled up that we can go ahead
There's
and...
only one game that really sticks out.
Well, there's Auburn A&M. That's the only game that sticks out for you.
Yes.
No, he has possibly his biggest game this weekend.
Well, Liberty Ole Miss.
No,
guys.
Guys.
What are we doing here?
Come on, we need to know this. This
Who
is
are-
This is a Brandon
The Super
Walker
Bowl.
weekend.
Yeah.
Liberty Ole Miss game.
No, this is
No,
a
no, no.
personal game for Brandon.
The jukebox man.
Yeah.
Stay puffed. Fatty fat.
You care more about that than Liberty Ole Miss?
Yeah. Oh, they put him in the video.
Bitch, what you talking about? They put me in the video.
Arkansas fans are like probably.
I know.
Arkansas fans are the worst people we have to deal with. Now, I'm a little nervous. I do think we're probably going to lose. Like I really do. I think
Book it.
I do. I'm honest, if not anything. I'm always honest.
Oh, can you do me a favor while I'm thinking about this? So I got the list of the games we're talking about for the college football show tomorrow.
Right.
That one is not on it. We need to find a way for you to work that in so they can play that video.
All right, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Figure that out. Yeah, but we got that one, and then you guys got Auburn. It's interesting. I think A&M and Auburn are two very even teams.
It's the Braves.
I think,
Are
yeah,
they-
the Braves just scored.
Maybe a home run.
Check me the
Yeah,
score.
I think it was 0-0.
Can I say something that, and obviously this is the biggest game of the week, and I know College Game Day decided not to go. They're going to Cincy. How I know how big our show is getting, the amount, I don't know if you saw it as much, but I know Katie
Ooh,
probably.
3-0,
3-0,
Braves.
wow. I know Katie probably was getting the notifications a lot. There were so many people, both A&M and Auburn fans,
Yeah.
clamoring for the Barstool College Football Show to come to College Station.
did see
like
that.
pitching, like, hey, see if you guys come do this and do that. And like Billy Lucci eventually weighed in and was like, I think they can only come to states where sports gambling is legal and their app is legal.
We can't. I mean, we're
And that Brandon Walker approves.
That was our theme this year. Yeah.
Yes, but it felt so good because it was just like, oh, fuck College Game Day. They're not going to, they snubbed us. Barstool won't. And it's like, well, we're going to be in New York. But
Also,
beside the
You're
point-
not snubbing them, though.
just on a personal level, we've seen Dan walk out at Wisconsin. We've seen Dave walk out at Michigan and Michigan State.
Yeah.
I know that I thought about it a lot. Have you just thought about being able to walk out in College Station, me being able to walk out and start? Well, that would be fucking awesome.
It'd be awesome. Yeah.
I would love to do that.
And then,
I would
maybe
love to
Mincy
do
walking
that.
out in Oxford.
I would love to do that. I can't think of
He
what
probably wouldn't be
school would
invited.
hate me walking out the most.
Texas.
You, Texas?
I don't think it would be Texas.
Why wouldn't it be?
I guess.
You know you'd wear Aggie maroon.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think Baylor.
Especially-
Oh, I've also envisioned Oxford.
I've envisioned
Just walking out and doing this number.
Oh well, the Dave Portnoy was just full like.
I kind of hated the way he did
I
that because
love-
it took.
Oh,
a-
it was
That's
awesome.
my idea. Like he did it in a very WWE Vince McMahon way. Like
Yes.
like he walked out and looked around and then just came from here and did this.
I mean, it was a full wind up.
Right,
It
yeah.
really was. But no, beside the point, I thought that was really cool just to see because it is the biggest game of the week. And they were like, well, why isn't Barstool College Football coming? I'm like, that's how, we're taking over, baby. This game terrifies me.
It ought to. Auburn's good.
Terrifies me.
Auburn's good. When they
Now-
went to Arkansas, Arkansas's not a bad team. When they went to Arkansas and won by 15, I was like, oh, okay. They're good.
The only thing that doesn't terrify me, or it makes it a little bit less, is I do think, and obviously if you followed A&M for a long time, especially like growing up in the 90s, it was like, oh, the wrecking crew. This defense has glimpses of the old school wrecking crew.
You will be the best defense they've played outside of Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. And Bo Nix, while we said he is, Brian Harsin has let him go where Gus Malzahn was trying to, to keep him in a box or whatever else. I think A&M's defense is better, but boy, Auburn scares me.
Well, here's the thing. Auburn, and we talk about Bo Nix, but their strength is Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter, the running backs. And that, you guys don't give up running
Well,
at
A&M's
all. Like, we were perfectly matched up to beat you guys because we throw it. And Auburn can't do that. So I think you guys are going to win.
Well,
but
and then we have A-Chain and Spiller.
I think A&M has the best two running backs in the country, and not the best two, but the best pair. A lot of people say Michigan. A lot of people
Master
say
Teague and Trevion Anderson.
and even Mayan Williams at Ohio State's a third grade one too.
Yeah,
But I
The way
still
their
think
system is-
talent wise, I think A-Chain and Spiller.
Yeah,
are
I mean,
right
it's
there.
it's they're interchangeable. It's if you say they're the best,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna squash grapes over.
I don't even. Let's just go through the slate real quick if you got it up.
Also, you said it over. One of your best points this past weekend was like we talk about Tennessee and how poorly does this reflect on Jeremy Pruitt. Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
Gus Malzahn's Brian Harsin came in and made that offense like last weekend.
They looked
Who did
so
Auburn
much-
play last weekend?
they beat
Ole Miss.
Miss.
Yeah.
Ole Miss.
They scored like 20 or 8 or 31 points in the first half. Gus Malzahn like rarely got to those numbers.
They don't look. They look so junior high with their
Yeah.
motions and their little sugar huddles and everything under Gus Malzahn. Now they look like an organized professional offense.
And then Gus Malzahn's gone to UCF with probably the most talented roster outside of Cincinnati in the AAC.
Tanked
Well,
them.
yes, he but with Dylan Gabriel still in, like, would
Fine,
they be
but
this
yeah,
bad?
But still, I mean, they lost to Navy. They
So on this slate,
did beat
and
Temple.
we say it a lot. We say it a lot, but just when you think college football
Bad
is not going to be
slates
accepted,
lead
bad
to good
slates,
Something crazy is
great
gonna
results.
happen.
Yeah.
And
it
fun
would be
gambling
crazy.
days.
But I mean, Scott Frost could save his job forever this weekend.
Yeah, he could, and
Ugh,
I don't think it's that crazy.
I don't
Like,
think it's that
kinda-
crazy.
Brandon.
I like Ohio State.
Don't
Please
do this to
I'm not-
yourself.
no,
What's
what
the
am I
line?
doing? I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
I just said I don't think it's that crazy. Like I think Nebraska
You said
is.
last week you think Ohio State's going to murder Michigan and Michigan State.
I don't think Michigan State are any good.
Well, Nebraska's not.
They're
any
not any good. What are you doing? I don't understand what you're doing. I said it's not that crazy. I think Nebraska has like one bullet
It's
in the
only
chamber.
15.
I know. I think Nebraska has like one good solid bullet that they can maybe pick somebody
what's
else.
the-
I don't think they're going to beat them, but they can put a scare in them.
Okay, fair.
Okay, let's go back to the other ones because that's
Easier, yeah.
That's a lot easier on the eyes.
Again,
Also, number 9, I think, is about to get beat. I think Wake Forest is going to lose at North
the
Carolina.
number has dropped. It's still 2.5, but
Yeah.
I mean, they got to go to Chapel Hill, to a rival, in their best season ever. This is a great North Carolina.
It's also something that, so technically this is a non-conference game, so we could still lose this and go to the championship.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? This is non-conference.
Yeah.
What? Say what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Why?
It's non-conference.
Who told y'all that? What's going on?
We've talked about it on 3 separate episodes.
Yeah.
This is a non-conference game.
The dumbest thing that's ever happened.
It's the
college
dumbest
football.
college football thing of all time.
I thought you guys were always joking.
No, it's
about
not.
No.
They scheduled an out-of-conference game between 2 conference
Liberty
teams.
at Ole Miss. That's interesting. It'll be points. Even though Ole Miss's offense isn't really as great as we think it is.
Liberty's it'll be a test for Liberty's defense. They have
I just
high
don't
ranking.
see the signs.
What signs?
The Hugh Freeze signs.
Ole Miss fans aren't clever. There won't be Hugh
That's a
Freeze
good
signs.
point.
Yeah. They can't wait to see that guy. They would take that guy back tomorrow. They worship that guy. They don't hate that guy.
You think they would take him back over Lane?
Over Lane, no. But if Lane left and they would, let me
Yeah.
just tell you, if Lane takes LSU and Ole Miss comes open, there will be at least a 2-day period where we're discussing heavily Hugh Freeze returning to Oxford.
Wow, a Hugh Freeze.
They're the only
Lane
team
Kiffin.
that would be morally bankrupt enough to take that guy in the SEC.
All right.
Tennessee didn't do it. Auburn wouldn't do it. They would do it. All right, go down. Go down. Michigan State, Purdue. Listen. Just the biggest letdown spot in the history of letdown spots for Michigan State. And Purdue has already beaten one number 2. Purdue has this knack for beating top 5 teams. What an incredible spot right here.
Here's my question. Do you think that Iowa is comparable to Michigan State?
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Michigan State deserves to be ranked where they are.
Yes.
Michigan probably deserves to be ranked where they are, but the world still exists where they're not that good. We still don't know. Their only comparison so far is against each other. What are you doing? No, don't write that shit. I'm not. What are you? You think by writing credit to Michigan State that's more clever than saying it?
Well, I didn't say it. You said it.
All right.
It is only Michigan State -3.
Yeah. No, it's a letdown spot.
Why is game day going to Tulsa, Cincinnati? Just to give Cincinnati some love?
Just to pat Cincinnati on the head and say it's okay.
Embarrassing.
Probably because they couldn't go to
Going
A&M
down,
for some
going down,
reason.
going down.
Yeah, the committee gave them the rankings early, and it's like, hey, guys,
Yeah, I might as well go see him. Us at Arkansas is a big game for me. I'm just getting ahead of it. I don't.
Skipped past.
What I skip past?
Because we talked about it, or
Oh,
We already talked about it.
okay.
Why would we keep talking about it? Go. We got to get out of here because I'm
Yeah,
tired.
we do.
Oh, LSU fucking Bama's this weekend. It doesn't matter.
Not even an
No
iota.
juice at all.
And it's the 7 o'clock
Saban.
ESPN game.
Saban wants to.
You think
It's
he's
also-
about to
Saban wants to beat
spank him on the way out?
Saban hasn't forgot about 2019.
No,
Yeah, he
definitely
It's
not.
all he
It's
thinks
a-
about.
So what's the spread on that?
27 last time I checked.
I mean, they
Hammer
went in
Alabama.
Danger. I think Kentucky's in danger against Tennessee.
Well, yeah, I mean, they looked like shit last week.
Well,
Kentucky
they
hasn't
played
beat
a good
Tennessee in, or did they beat them last
beat
year?
him last year. in
But then
Knoxville.
before that, they were
Oregon,
like
Washington.
Yes, that's
Oregon,
a sneaky
Washington.
game.
Washington stinks though.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I mean, they beat Stanford last.
But everything
week. I
for
agree
Oregon
with
is
you.
now
Is
you got to watch
yes.
it because you never know.
Indiana, Michigan will kill them.
Texas Iowa State is a game that would have had juice a month ago, but doesn't now.
Could South Carolina beat Florida?
In no way, shape, or form.
Sounds
Florida might be my lock
bad.
tomorrow. Florida might be my lock because Dan Mullen's got to bury this team.
What's that spread?
19.5. I'm telling you what it is. You can keep looking. It's 19.
It might have moved.
It's 19.5. I look at it all the time.
It's 18.
It's
Woo,
19.5
boy.
in my mind and my heart. It's all that matters. I got to be honest.
What?
We got to
tired?
get out of here. I'm tired. I'm sick. I'm ready to go.
I'm still sick.
This was
too.
fun, though. And
I think this is one of my favorite episodes we've done in a long time.
it was good. It was good energy. Okay, let's get out of here. That's college football. If we missed anything, sorry.
Suck our dicks?
What? No.
No, take that out. Take that out.
No, it's fine.
I'm not gonna take it
No,
out.
take it out.
That's gonna
Oh
give him
my
more
God.
effort. Come on, no, it's fine. She didn't mean that.
I definitely didn't mean it.
She was just
If
playing.
you want me to take it out, I'll take it out.
People couldn't find Brandon's.
Take that out.
What's going on here?
That's
How
no.
much
I
am
was
I
just
taking
kidding. I was
out?
kidding. I was kidding.
All right, I'm taking it all out. We're not
Not
releasing
taking
a
it all.
podcast.
All right, just all right. Good night to everyone, college football fans, and most importantly,
The alike.
the monkey.